Dear students of class 10A and 10B, today I shall teach you about the following points as mentioned in the board. Please look at it. International Court of Justice, composition, powers and functions, the parties, sources of applicable law, voluntary jurisdiction, compulsory jurisdiction. These are the powers and functions of the International Court of Justice. You know, the International Court of Justice was established in the year 1946, but earlier another International Court of Justice also was there. It was established in the year 1922. But in the year 1946, it replaced the former International Court of Justice and took all the charges and took all the responsibilities of different countries of the world. That means at the end of the First World War, the International Court of Justice, the new International Court of Justice was established in the year 1946. Now, the court has role. There are two types of role of this court. In the International Court of Justice plays two types of roles, means dual role. What is it? To settle disputes of international crisis, international problems of different countries of the world, and the legal disputes which are brought by different states to the International Court of Justice are settled following the system of international law, international rules, international system. That's why it is due to the reason the question whenever is arised regarding the process of giving verdict by the International Court of Justice, the International Court of Justice always remains sincere and alert in order to avoid any kind of controversial issues and criticism done by the other persons. That's why, as per the system of the International Court of Law, it is clearly mentioned that no one would criticize the verdict of the International Court of Justice, since this verdict is the final verdict of the world. That's why no one is supposed to criticize the system of verdict and the system of giving verdict by the International Court of Justice. Now the composition. Now the compositions. Composition, the court is composed of 15 judges. They are elected for a term of 9 years by the United Nations General Assembly and Security Council. All the judges are appointed by the General Assembly in consultation with the Security Council, and each and every judge works independently without being influenced by any organ of the International Court of organ of the United Nations. Elections are held every 3 years for 1/3 of the seats, and returning judges can be re-elected. The members of the court do not represent the governments, but are independent magistrates. That means they can be later independent magistrates, but at the same time, the judges must possess the qualification. It is required. Now, what is required now I am discussing. Minimum qualifications required to be the judges of the International Court of Justice. Now I am going to discuss. The judges must possess the qualifications required in their respective fields, respective countries, for appointment to the highest judicial offices, or be jurist or recognize competence in international law. That means the judges would have to be conscious regarding the international laws. That means the judges are supposed to gain knowledge of international laws, system of giving verdict. The composition of the court has also to reflect the main forms of civilization and the principal legal system of the world. In order to avoid any kind of controversy, not to harm the sentiments of any member states, the system of giving verdict as per the system of international law has to be followed by the judges of the International Court of Justice. The court elects its president and vice president for a term of 3 years. They may be re-elected, the terms can be expired, but as soon as their terms get expired, they can be re-elected. The court has the power to appoint the registrar also. A registrar can be appointed by the court. Now, why is a registrar appointed by the court? For their conveniences. In order to see and look after their works, in order to consult various issues with the registrar, in order to, record the system of judgment, and in order to record the time, date, and the entire, informations of any judgment done by the International Court of Justice, the role of the registrar is very important. That's why a registrar is appointed by the International Court of Justice. The court elects its president and vice president for a term of 3 years, but the elected president and vice president can be re-elected after its expiry. They can be re-elected. Now, powers and functions of the International Court of Justice. First, the parties. Only member states may apply to the International Court of Justice regarding any political issues, regarding any international crisis. The member countries can apply to the International Court of Justice and appear before the International Court of Justice in order to get it solved. Now, sources of applicable law. Now, the court decides cases. With the international, the treaties and convention in force, international customs, general principles of law in each and every sphere of, discussing the issues of international laws. The court is supposed to consult the other judges. There are 15 judges, each and every judges are supposed to consult each other regarding any critical issues which should be settled peacefully. That's why the judges should be highly qualified people, highly qualified publicists. That's why the judicial decisions can be given impartially and can be given by applying, the knowledge of judicial procedure. Now, voluntary jurisdiction. The court is competent to entertain a dispute of the states concerned, agree to take the issues to it. Whenever any state is interested to solve any international issues or any internal crisis of them, they may apply to the International Court of Justice, and International Court of Justice can solve their problems. And next one, compulsory jurisdiction. The court has compulsory jurisdiction. Which court? The International Court of Justice. The International Court of Justice has compulsory jurisdiction. The International Court of Justice has two types of compulsory jurisdiction. Number one, against background that a large number of treaties provide that disputes are submitted to the court. Its jurisdiction extends to Number two, its jurisdiction extends to disputes pertaining to the interpretation of international law, and reparation, compensation to be made for the breach of an international obligation. That means any member country can apply to the International Court of Justice for proper judgment, for solving any international crisis, any internal problems of them, as I mentioned earlier. But International Court of Justice can take up the case and can solve their problems. But what is required most is the advices of other judges. There are 15 judges. They all discuss. They all, one by one consults each other regarding solving the crisis of any state. At the same time, the jurisdiction also is done in accordance with the requirement, whether there is any application for the reparation, whether any application for any any damage, any kind of compensation. Each and every part of discussion is done by the judges, whether reparation amount is high, whether compensation amount one member state is demanding high. Each and every part of discussion, whether the member state is involved whether the member state is involved in any internal crisis really, or creating some troubles for other one. And in that case, the International Court of Justice, plays an impartial attitude towards the member states. The member, in spite of being member state, a state cannot force International Court of Justice to solve the problems by harming the sentiments of other member states of the International Court of Justice, that's of the United Nations. Each and every member states of the United Nations are given verdict impartially and carefully. Before giving verdict, the judges are supposed to be careful, are supposed to learn the actual incidents, what happened to them, by means of appointing a number of authorities, and then after having collected necessary information from there, they try to solve their problems, and of course by consulting each other. Up to this, my dear students, thank you.